By this point, I had everything I needed: evidence, patterns, even their faces caught on a few public cameras near that hotel. But I wasn't interested in catching her red-handed anymore. I wanted her to feel it, the slow, quiet panic of her perfect life coming apart. The kind of pain that doesn't explode in one moment, it just seeps in, day after day, until it takes everything from you. So I started small. One night, I told Rachel my boss was sending me to Jacksonville for a 3-day job. That was a lie. I wasn't going anywhere. I packed a fake bag, kissed her goodbye, and left the house around 7 p.m. Then I parked my truck 2 streets over and waited. Sure enough, by 8:30, she was out the door. Gym bag slung over her shoulder. Makeup done. Hair perfect. She never dressed like that for me anymore. The tracker pinged. Downtown hotel, same one as before. I waited about an hour, then drove over. Parked across the street. Watched her car in the lot until nearly midnight. And then, at 12:17 a.m., I saw her walk out, laughing, with him. Tall, shaved head, smug grin. She touched his arm when she laughed. They kissed before she got into her car. It was weird. I didn't even feel angry in that moment. I just felt gone. Like something inside me had already shut off. I didn't follow her home. I didn't confront her. I just sat there in the dark, watching her taillights fade, and made my next move. The next morning, I drove to her gym. Walked in like I was looking for a membership. The front desk girl recognized Rachel's name when I asked if she was a member. Said she'd been training privately with Sam for months. I smiled, pretended to be clueless, and said I was her husband, that I wanted to surprise her with a thank you gift for helping her stay motivated. The girl's face shifted, like she realized she'd said too much. That's when I got what I needed: Sam's last name, his schedule, his personal training rate. I thanked her and left. Back home, I found his business page online. All ego and flexing, full of motivational quotes about discipline and loyalty. The irony was almost poetic. That night, Rachel came home later than usual. Said the gym ran long. I nodded, asked how her workout went. She said it was great, smiled, and kissed me. Her lipstick left a faint mark on my cheek. It smelled like cheap wine. And that was it. That was the moment I decided to end it, but not like people expect. Not with shouting or tears. With silence. I transferred half our savings to a private account. Called a locksmith to change the upstairs door locks while she was at work the next day. And then I called my buddy Jake, the kind of friend who doesn't ask questions. He helped me move my stuff into a storage unit that night. Everything I cared about. Tools, photos, my grandfather's rifle, my mom's ring. All of it. When Rachel came home the next evening, she didn't notice a thing. I'd left everything that was ours exactly as it was. She kissed me goodnight, told me she loved me, and I said it back. But I didn't mean it anymore. Because love wasn't what was keeping me there. It was the setup. 3 days later, Rachel told me she had another late workout. Same line, same tone, same lie. I kissed her goodbye, watched her drive off, and this time I followed. I didn't tail her close. I stayed 3 cars back, lights off, just enough to keep her taillights in view. My heart was calm, which almost scared me. I wasn't shaking anymore. I wasn't angry. I just wanted to see. She pulled into that same hotel parking lot. Parked in the far corner. Waited 5 minutes. Then he showed up, Sam, in his flashy black Challenger. He parked beside her, got out, and kissed her like they'd been doing it forever. I didn't take pictures this time. I didn't need to. I just memorized every movement. The way she touched his face, the way he grabbed her hand. And then they went inside. That's when I called the front desk. "Hey, this is Officer Reynolds with the local PD," I said, using the calm tone I'd practiced. "We're running a quick check on a guest. Could you confirm if Samuel Bennett's checked in tonight? We've got his vehicle registered to a possible noise complaint." They didn't even hesitate. "Yes, he's here. Room 214. Perfect." I hung up, drove home, and began phase 2. At home, I went to her laptop, the one she used for everything. I'd installed remote monitoring software on it weeks earlier, just in case. It synced every file, every photo, every message to my backup drive. Her emails were filled with him. Cheesy lines, hotel confirmations, "I miss you already," notes. But what really hit me was a draft folder. One single unsent message addressed to him. If he ever finds out, I'll lose everything. Please don't tell anyone about the money. I'll pay you back soon. Money. I checked our account. $5,000 gone over the last 2 months. Transfers labeled, cash withdrawals. That was all I needed. I printed screenshots. Every message, every picture, every hotel reservation. Then I slid them into a thick envelope labeled, "For you, Sam." The next evening, I waited until she left for her workout. Then I drove to Sam's gym and taped that envelope to the front door, with one more note attached. "Hope she's worth it. She paid you with our savings. Enjoy explaining that to your boss." I didn't sign it. I didn't need to. The next morning, Rachel's mood was strange. She barely spoke, just sipped coffee, checking her phone every 30 seconds. Then she asked me, "Did you see my debit card anywhere?" I shook my head. "No." "Why?" She didn't answer, just stared out the window, chewing her lip. By lunchtime, she was pacing. By dinner, she was crying in the bathroom. When she finally came out, I asked, "Everything okay?" She forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired." But that night, while she slept, I heard her phone buzz over and over. I glanced at the screen. One message preview from Sam. "Who the hell told you? You're insane. Don't ever contact me again." She turned over in her sleep. I just sat there beside her, staring into the dark. And for the first time in weeks, I felt peace. But I wasn't done yet. Because the real revenge, the one that would change everything, hadn't even started. That part was personal. The morning it all came apart was a Tuesday. I remember because she was humming in the kitchen, like nothing was wrong, like her world wasn't already on fire. That's how good cheaters get. They compartmentalize. They can wreck your life on one side of the door, then cook eggs on the other like it's any other day. But that Tuesday? That was my day. I waited until she left for work, then got everything in motion. Step 1. I called our bank. Froze the joint account. Reported the last 2 withdrawals as unauthorized. Said I'd file a police report if necessary. Step 2. I emailed her boss, using a private address, with a collection of screenshots and messages between her and Sam, highlighting the sick days she took while meeting him. I didn't accuse her of anything. I simply asked if their company had a policy about using company time for personal affairs. I never got a reply. But I didn't need one. Step 3. I filed for divorce, and made sure the papers were delivered to her office, right before lunch. I wanted her to open them at her desk, surrounded by coworkers, in her little corner of normal life. Because that's what she'd ruined. Normal. And I wasn't going to let her walk away from it like nothing happened. Around 1:42 p.m., I got a text. "What the hell is this? Call me, now." I didn't reply. At 2:15 p.m., she called again. I let it ring. Then I sent her one message. "Everything you did, I know. Don't worry, I'm not angry, just done." She tried calling 6 more times that day. Left voicemails, some crying, some angry. At one point, she threatened to come to my job. I blocked her number. By the time I got home, she was sitting on the front porch. Mascara running, shaking. I walked past her, calm, straight inside. She followed, of course. Demanded answers. "What is this, Max? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just turned, looked her in the eye, and said, "You broke something I spent a decade building. And I let you. That's on me. But now, it's done." She started crying harder. Said it was a mistake. That she didn't mean for it to go that far. That she still loved me. "Do you love him?" I asked. She froze. Hesitated. I don't know. "Exactly," I said, and that's all I needed to hear. I walked upstairs, packed the last of my things. She followed me the whole time, begging, bargaining, apologizing. Saying she'd change, saying she was scared, but I was already gone. Not physically, emotionally. That's what people never talk about when it comes to betrayal. It doesn't kill you in one blow. It's a slow erosion, and by the time the big moment comes, there's nothing left to save. Before I walked out, I left her with one final sentence. "You gave him the parts of you that I missed most. And now, he can keep them." Then I walked out of the house we built together, not with anger, not with regret, but with clarity. Revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's just leaving them alone with what they chose. It's been 6 months now. The house is sold. The papers are signed. And Rachel? I haven't spoken to her since that day I walked out. Not once. She tried, texted me from different numbers, emailed me through fake accounts, even showed up at my sister's once, begging her to talk to me. Said she made a mistake, that she'd lost herself. In the attention, in the rush, in the fantasy of something new. But the thing about mistakes? You don't make them 3 nights a week for 6 months and call it an accident. You make a choice, again and again, and now she's living with the weight of hers. From what I've heard, and I try not to ask, Sam cut things off right after the fallout. Blocked her, ghosted her, just disappeared. Which tracks, really? Guys like that don't build anything. They just take what isn't theirs and move on. And Rachel? She's renting a 1-bedroom now. Took a demotion at work. Her online profiles went dark for a while, then came back, all full of forced smiles and selfies that don't quite hide the cracks underneath. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel bad, either. I just feel nothing. See, that's the part one didn't expect. I thought I'd feel victorious. Like I'd won. I played it smart. I hit her where it hurt. I didn't scream or throw things. I let her watch it all crumble, quietly, piece by piece. But what I really feel is free. I don't miss the paranoia, the lies, the gut checks every time her phone buzzed. I don't miss being in bed with someone who wasn't really there. And I sure as hell don't miss the man I had to become just to survive being married to her. These days, I wake up and my chest doesn't feel heavy. I've reconnected with old friends. Took a road trip by myself up to the mountains. Spent a weekend in silence, no phones, no distractions, just me, the cold air, and a cabin with a fire that burned slow through the night. I'm not dating yet, not because I'm bitter, but because I finally realized how badly I needed to know myself again. When you're with someone like Rachel, you lose pieces of yourself quietly over time. You stop asking what you need, because you're too busy managing what they want. Not anymore. The last time I drove past the old house, it was empty. For sale again. Fresh coat of paint, new, for rent, sign. Funny, a home we spent years building together, now just another listing. Another reset, just like her. But me? I'm not starting over. I'm moving forward. Because sometimes, revenge isn't about destroying someone else's life. It's about rebuilding yours, without them in it. You ever have that moment when something just feels off? Not something you can prove, not something anyone else would even notice, but deep down, you know something isn't right. That gut feeling? That whisper in the back of your mind that you try to ignore? Yeah, I had that. It started 3 weeks after my wife, Rachel, joined this new gym across town. She'd just turned 34 and said she wanted to feel like herself again. I supported it. Why wouldn't I? We'd been married 8 years. I thought we were solid. At first, it was harmless. She'd go after work, come home tired, shower, eat late. I didn't think much of it. I work in construction, 10-hour days, so by the time she got home, I was usually winding down. But little things started happening. She started leaving her phone face down. She'd take it into the bathroom. She got new clothes, not the practical, cozy kind she usually wore, but tight, bright-colored stuff with tags that screamed, "Notice me." Again, I said nothing. Then, one night, I came home early. Rain had shut down the job site. I walked into our house around 4 p.m. expecting her to be at work. But her car was in the driveway. Strange. I opened the door, and for a second, I thought I heard voices upstairs. I paused, dead quiet. Maybe the TV, I thought. I called her name. Rach? Nothing. I walked up the stairs, turned the corner into our bedroom, and that's when I saw it. The door to our ensuite bathroom was shut. Locked. Water running. I didn't say anything. I didn't knock. I just stood there, waiting. 3 minutes later, she came out in nothing but a towel. Wet hair. Her eyes widened when she saw me. "You're home?" she asked, startled. "Yeah." Rain shut us down. "Who were you talking to?" She paused. Just a second too long. "No one. I was just on the phone." "With who?" "Just Sam. From work." Sam. The name sat with me. I didn't say much else that night. But that feeling? That knot in my stomach? It didn't go away. Later, when she went to sleep, I checked the trash. The shower was running. That meant steam. That meant the mirror fogged up. But there was no steam. No damp towel on the floor. No dirty clothes. The only thing I found? A receipt from a liquor store, 2 mini bottles of whiskey and a pack of gum, time-stamped 2 hours before I got home. Rachel doesn't drink. That was the moment. That was when something broke inside me. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I decided to do something I never thought I'd do in my life. I started watching her. And what I found? Well, let's just say this story gets a lot darker from here. The next few days, I played dumb. Smiled. Kissed her goodbye in the morning. Pretended nothing was wrong. But every night, after she went to sleep, I started checking things. Call logs. Receipts. Her location history on Google. If you've never checked your spouse's location history, I'll tell you, it either calms every fear or confirms every suspicion. In my case, it did the latter. She told me she was at the gym. But on Tuesday, her phone had her parked outside a hotel, not the gym, for 2 hours. No check-in, no charges under her name, but I know how those places work. Cash, fake names, no paper trail. The next day, she came home with a weird energy, almost like she was trying too hard to act normal. She hugged me in the kitchen, asked about my day, laughed at a joke I didn't even make. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. I started watching the clock. She got home at 7:48 p.m. on the dot. Her workout bag was in the car, so I waited until she was in the shower, then went out to check it. Inside, 2 towels, still damp, a change of clothes, a condom wrapper shoved into a side pocket. I just stood there in the driveway, holding that wrapper like it was radioactive. My hands were shaking. You think you'll scream, or punch something, or cry. But I didn't. I just went back inside, sat on the edge of our bed, and stared at the closed bathroom door, listening to the sound of water hitting tile. She came out like nothing happened, dried her hair, asked if I wanted to watch a movie. I said sure. We sat there on the couch, me with my arm around her, her head on my shoulder, and I kept thinking, how the hell can someone do this and still come home like it's all okay? I didn't sleep that night, or the next. I started noticing everything. She started wearing perfume again. Something new, sweet, floral, not the kind she used to like. She changed her password, started guarding her phone like it held nuclear codes. And the name, Sam, kept popping up. She said it so casually. Sam said this, Sam did that. I'd never met Sam, never seen a picture. I asked her about him one night and she said he was just a guy from work. Said it too fast, like she'd rehearsed it. So I did what I had to do. I created a burner Instagram account, fake profile, fake name, and followed her work account. A few days later, I saw it. A comment from someone named at samstrength_87. A fire emoji, under one of her gym selfies. That same photo she told me she only posted to her story for 10 minutes. Turns out it was still live, still public. And Sam? He wasn't just from work. He was the first man she met when she joined that gym. Personal trainer, divorced, known for helping women feel empowered. That word again, empowered. I kept digging. Sam had a private page, but I found an old tag of him at the same hotel my wife's location history had pinged near. It was all there. I had all the pieces. But I wasn't ready to confront her. Not yet, because if I was gonna do this, I needed to do it right. I needed to be smart. And I was done playing the fool. I didn't sleep much after that. Every night, I lay in bed next to her, pretending not to notice how she shifted away from me just a little more. Like she was slowly removing herself from our life, from me, inch by inch, day by day. But I played it cool. The smile, the good husband act. I even offered to take her out to dinner one night, her favorite Thai place downtown. She looked surprised, almost nervous. She said she was too tired. Maybe another time. That's when I knew. She didn't want to be seen with me. Not in public. Not anymore. So I started my plan. See, there's something about being the quiet guy in the room. People always underestimate you. But I've always been observant. And when I get hurt, I don't lash out. I study. First, I installed a tracker in her car. Tucked it right under the lining in her trunk. She never noticed. I linked it to my phone, and for 2 weeks, I logged every stop, every detour. Gym, hotel, a random residential street 2 towns over. Guess whose apartment was right around the corner? Sam. She wasn't even trying to hide it that well. Same nights, same pattern. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how happy she looked when she thought I wasn't watching. I created a second burner Instagram. Different name. Sent a follow request to Sam. He accepted. Turns out, he wasn't too careful either. His stories? They gave everything away. Gym clips, car selfies, dinner plates. One night, he posted a pic of a steak dinner, 2 glasses of wine in frame, with someone's hand just barely visible on the left side of the table. That hand? It had the exact same pale blue nail polish Rachel had on that week. Bingo. I screen captured everything. Time stamps, GPS logs, receipts. I wasn't just gathering evidence, I was building a case. A case I wouldn't take to court, but to war. I needed to hit her where it hurt. And the thing about Rachel is, she lives online. She curates this perfect little image. Wife, fitness queen, social butterfly, all smiles, all filters. Her reputation means everything to her. So I started planting seeds. I created a third burner account. This one wasn't for following, it was for messaging. One night, I DM'd her from it, just 2 words. I know, no reply. But 5 minutes later, she was pacing in the hallway on the phone. I walked out and casually asked who she was talking to. She looked startled, said it was just a friend. Then she started locking her phone and changing the passcode daily. But that didn't matter, because I wasn't chasing her phone anymore. I was chasing the look in her eyes. And that night, for the first time, she looked scared. Not guilty, not sorry, scared. And that's when I knew I was getting close. Revenge wasn't about screaming or catching them in bed. It was about letting them destroy themselves while I watched. But I wasn't going to just sit back. I was going to give them a push.